welcome back to the channel. So today, before I started mowing, I needed to do an oil change and fuel up the lawn tractor. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. This is my 2021 Cub Cadet XT2 SLX50. So I guess I'll start off and put the disclaimer out there that I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, hence why I'm doing a video so that I remember how to do it next time. If this helps anybody, that's great, but I'm definitely not a professional, as you'll see through the video here. First, I put a pan under the tractor just to catch any of the old oil that comes out. So right now I'm just getting things set up and organized to make things a little easier on myself. Other people have put up similar videos on YouTube that I found very helpful, so I figured I'd do the same and pass it along. You wouldn't be able to tell right now because it's quite dirty, but I'm just putting some paper towel under there to catch any oil that spills, because I like to try to keep it as clean as I can. Pull that cap loose, place the draining hose on that comes with the tractor. If you don't have one, you can find them pretty much anywhere. I would probably recommend trying to get a longer one just so that you can put it directly into the pan. I did a terrible job showing you there, but on the yellow piece there's a little notch that you slide in and out in order to lock it off. As you can tell, I'm not a professional. But yeah, that notch, you can see me pull it out there. It's a little L shape. When I go to close things up, I actually show you a better view. You just do the opposite to close it and pull it out to let the oil go. So this part right here is what I'm talking about. With a longer hose would be more beneficial. I just stuck the paper towel in there to hold it while I can do other things like fuel it up. So right now I'm going to put some gasoline, some Supreme gasoline in it. There is a little heads up display that came on at the 50-hour mark, and I checked with the dealer. They said they recommend that you change the oil every 50 hours. And the display, like I said, will let you know to change the oil. It also lets you know to change the air filter. I didn't get any footage of that, and I think that was at about 25 hours maybe. It's pretty simple and user-friendly to figure out, but the next time I change it, I'll try to remember to get a recording of it for you. If you happen to be wondering why there's chains on the back during summer, I have quite a few areas that are very, very steep, and if you get the slightest bit of moisture at all, even though the tractor's got plenty of power, there's no traction. So the chains just help with the traction on the hill. I'm too lazy to take them off. So I actually made a little boo-boo here. This is the oil filter, and I took it off a little too early. I would probably recommend waiting until all the oil has drained out before you take this off, as you'll see here in a minute. I don't know if it makes a huge difference or not, but it definitely would be more likely to make less mess than what I made here in a second or two. And there you go. We sprung a leak. So I just tightened it up and let all the oil drain out. As you can tell, it's pretty much bone dry now. So I'm just going to put that notch back in, pull that tube off, and let the residual oil fall in, and then I'm going to take that oil filter off if I can do it one-handed. They're just kind of hand tight, so they actually spin off quite easily. One thing I would definitely recommend though is to take the deck off or to jack up the lawn tractor so that you can fit that oil pan under where it's supposed to go. It would make things a lot easier. This is my first time doing an oil change on a lawn tractor. I've never owned a lawn tractor before. So it's small things like that, I think, that would make a big difference. This is the inside of where the oil filter goes. This is the product number of the new oil filter. And it just twists back on to the right. And again, you just want to kind of go hand tight is what I was told. So this is that little yellow piece with the notch that I was trying to explain to you earlier. This is the L notch area, and it literally just pulls and pushes with a twist, depending on if you want the oil to flow or not. And there's an example of how it works. And then just make sure you put that black cap back on. This is the oil that the dealer recommended I put in. and they recommended that I put in 2 bags every oil fill. Every time I change the oil, put two new bags in. And if you don't know already, it just goes into where your dipstick is held. You just pour it straight in, like I'm doing here. You want to make sure that you keep up on your maintenance on the lawn tractor. It really helps to keep things in shape. And if you're paying this much for a lawn tractor, you want to make sure that you take care of it, and that way you'll always have something nice that works and runs and doesn't cause you any extra problems. And if you're thinking about getting an XT2 SLX50, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, I've never owned a lawn tractor before, but this one is incredible. It's got lots of power and it drives really nice, and I think our lawn is a pretty good test for lawn tractors. It's definitely not even, and it's kind of a weird and wacky terrain, so you get a little bit of everything. And like I said earlier, we have some very, very steep hills, and this tractor has absolutely no problem getting up or down them, even if there's a little bit of morning dew on the grass. The only thing that I noticed was the traction, but we put a pair of Cub Cadet chains on the rear tires, and that solved that problem very quickly. And if you like this video and it interests you, I have a few other Cub Cadet videos on this channel, actually on the playlist. It's a Cub Cadet playlist, so feel free to check it out. So again, we'll take the dipstick out here and we'll give it a wipe, and then we'll put it back in, but we won't thread it back on. And then we'll pull it out and check the oil level to make sure that it's good and make sure the oil's nice and clean. And right there I'm a little bit above full, but apparently that's okay. So as long as you're not too full, I think you'd be alright. And then put the dipstick back in and thread it up. And now we're just cleaning up our mess, because I like to make messes apparently. I know it doesn't look it right now, but I usually try to give it a wash after every use, and keep on top of everything. Take the deck off and clean the deck. I actually have another video of me cleaning the deck and sharpening the blades, but just so that like if you keep your lawn tractor nice and clean, it actually helps to not only be aware of where everything is, but anytime you go to do any maintenance on it, you don't have to deal with a bunch of crud and nastiness, and it makes things definitely a lot easier. I could definitely do better at keeping it more clean, but I think any effort in that regard is huge when it comes to maintenance. It definitely makes things easier. And it also helps to keep things out of important areas. So keeping it clean is really good. So now we're just tidying up and putting things away. There's the old oil. It's no good anymore. This is just that rag that was soaked in dirty oil. So we'll put that away, and then we'll put the old oil away as well. We'll clean up our garbage and the old oil filter. And now we'll close up the hood, and that's it. You're ready to rock for another 50 hours. The dealer did tell me that the display will stay on for a little while after you do the oil change, so just be aware of that, but it'll eventually go away. Thanks for watching.